So in my opinion, data is at the foundation of everything around a built asset. Clearly, if you start to curate that data at the design stage, it becomes much easier to have a data flow through the design, build, operate and maintain of the asset. However, if the asset is already in existence and you have to go back and retrofit a data picture in order to create a digital picture to feed into a twin environment, it's incredibly complex because of legacy environments and systems that are today not operating together, they're not necessarily integrated, and you're trying to take a systems environment that already doesn't manage data and find a way to map that together before you can even get the data picture of the as-is environment for the built asset. So the earlier you can do it, the easier it is, which means the more effective it is. So digital twins clearly present a huge opportunity for the built environment for any country. The key one has to be, for me, the impact on climate change. Quite often as an industry we forget the impact that we have in this area. And actually creating digital twins and driving waste reduction through a circular economic approach to a construction site and actually enabling us to reduce waste, to make sure that we're efficient in the operation of our assets, to minimise the use of energy, and to have assets that operate and are maintained at not just low cost but low consumption has to be the optimum outcome that we're seeking. The actual overall impact of that on sustainability is huge, and for me that is the opportunity that we have to strive for. So for me, my legacy was the aerospace and defence industry. I've now been in the construction and engineering sector for around 11 years. But what I see is very little focus on cyber security. So as we build a digital twin environment, whether it's around our infrastructure, around our residential assets, or around our public service environments, we are creating something which is infinitely informative to anybody that wants to do something bad to one of those assets. So I think cyber security for me at the moment is one of the biggest threats that I'm not really seeing addressed in the sector. So clearly the curation of data, if it doesn't already exist around an asset, or even adding a data layer into the design stage for an asset, is costly. However, once you have that data available to you, the decisions that it can drive are vast. So outlining the decisions that become available to you and hypothesizing those is really, really important. Linking that through to very clear tangible and intangible, financial and non-financial benefits is key. That gives you the opportunity to build a business case. And if you go and talk to a finance director with a business case that shows a very clear whole life cost reduction over the life cycle of the built asset, I think you'll find that the path becomes easier. It doesn't mean getting to the data and the business case is simple, but that's the route that I would take. I personally can't see how you can have a smart city in real terms without digital twins, certainly for most of the key assets, if not for all assets. You can create an image of a smart city that doesn't actually represent anything in real life, but if you don't actually understand the performance of the assets within the smart city, I think it's absolutely impossible to believe that you are actually able to create a smart city, because you don't understand what you need to change, and you certainly don't understand how you've optimized the performance, whether it's around energy, mobility, the urbanization of the environment, or the well-being of the population and the communities that exist therein. So to me, they're intrinsically linked. For me, I think that the curation of data and the knowledge around our built environment and understanding how it performs today is critical to evaluate the innovation path that could be available to us. The art of the possible is out there. The reality today is quite some distance from that, but we don't even know what we don't know yet. So if we don't understand where we are, it's very difficult to lead change around getting to a future state.